Hey folks, welcome back to the endless build of this little boat. You may recall I had a discussion about how I might want to use this steering wheel, which came from a little Seaflea hydroplane that I had when I was my son's age, so 15, 16. And that this was the last of what remained of that boat, and that I thought it would be kind of cool to use this as the steering wheel. Of course, as these things evolve, what I started thinking about was this drum and the fact that it's got no grooves. So I was thinking, well, maybe I could pull the drum off and use the steering wheel. And of course, one little thing led to another, and I thought, well, to get a truly sort of classic look that would complement, say, these gauges that I was pulling together, I thought it would be maybe fun to look for an older wheel. Now, these things tend to be expensive on eBay, but I did manage to find, eventually, this, which I think is kind of cool. I mean, it's cracked, as you can see, where hairline cracks. Whoops. It's it's on here somewhere. Excuse the light, and it's upside down, but it's a Scheller wheel, which I've seen before online. Fairly expensive. The other thing that I think is really cool is, of course, this mount, this boss here, which would allow, you know, polished up, kind of a cool way to attach to the steering wheel. Scheller Traveler. Anyway, I don't know if it came out of an Arkansas Traveler boat. I don't know if they made them back then. The thing is that, of course, I needed a drum for it, and it didn't come with one. Finding grooved drums online, I also found a little difficult, at least for a reasonable amount of money, but good old outboard.com creates, or has these created, I guess, remanufactured drums with grooves, which is exactly what I want. Issue is, however, that this won't go in there. It's very, very close. Sorry, the light's terrible here. So what I'd like to do is try and ream that out a little bit. It's interesting. Thinner wall on this end, thicker wall on that side, and I thought if I could just take it out far enough, maybe we could get that shaft into it. So I wanted to take a measurement of how big that hole is. Alright, so we've disassembled the hub, or the mount for the wheel that will go on the dashboard. Pulled out the steering shaft, buffed it up, and measured it in the hopes that we could bore this out or ream it out just enough to get that shaft in there while leaving enough material on the sidewall to have some kind of structural strength. If we come over here, you'll notice a couple of things. Let's get some light here. So here's an identical drum. Because they were only $9 each, I thought I'd get two for mess ups. And then of course we have our metal cutting bit that is exactly the right diameter. And you'll be able to see a little better, I think, on this one as we pull it down, that there should be, once I center it, enough material left over, boring that out, that we can get the shaft down there and of course get the holes to match up. It means we're going to have to bore this down to about here to get that shaft far enough in that this pin will match. We'll knock that out. The other option, of course, is to turn this down on a lathe until it's small enough to go in the drum. I'd rather start trying to make the drum bigger, A, because the material's softer, and they were only $9 each. That's why I've got the two of them, so that if I mess one up doing it this way, then I'll consider turning that down to size. Just a little reluctant to mess this thing up because it's a nice, sort of original piece, and these are relatively cheap repros. Anyway, that'll be our next effort. Once we get this thing all lined up and measured, got it clamped in using some rubber here so we don't wreck that. Finally, what to do about this is a bit of a, not a mystery for us, but it's kind of got a nice patina as it is. It's quite old. So the question is, do we leave it like this, put it in the boat, or do we sand it down, fill the cracks, and paint it, say, the holiday bronze of the engine cowling for the 56 Johnson? That might look good too. Anyway, not exactly our most immediate problem. So we're going to get some cutting oil or something similar and go at this slowly and see if we can bore it out. All right, let you know how that goes. So, drilling done. Original and the new one. You can see it's certainly not precisely centered, and a little bit of sliding around, but this is not a high-speed wheel that needs to be perfectly in balance. It's going to rotate, at the most 2 or 3 times one way or the other, and as long as it's true enough so that the rope doesn't, our cable doesn't jump the ridges, I think we're okay. So, how did we do here? That's pretty good. What we'll do is take this screw, put it through there, lock it up, and then I think we're fine. So, that's going to work. Excellent. So there you have it, mocked up. That should work pretty well, I think.